Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Now today I'm going to be repotting my Peniocereus serpentinus cristata cactus plant. And this one here is one of the cristrate types of cacti that you commonly see. They're sometimes nicknamed the brain cacti because of their unusual appearance. And this particular one is a Peniocereus. And the traditional form of Peniocereus is often sort of thin and columnar type of plant. Those of you that are familiar with it, and it's more of a tropical one, so it does like warmer temperatures. So this one, once I've potted it, I'm going to be putting it into my office upstairs and overwintering it warm. Now, I've made videos already on how to repot cacti. I've made a few, so if you haven't seen the video I've made on how to repot a cactus, do watch that video. Links will be up above, and that goes into the whole procedure on how to repot a cactus. This is just me repotting my Peniocereus serpentinus cristata cactus plant. What a name. And what I've done here is I always pot up into the next size pot. And before I go any further, I want to give a very special thank you to my wonderful fiancé Hans, who is behind the camera filming me today. So I have my hands free. So please do go over and give Hans a subscribe to his amazing YouTube channel, Family of Cactuses and Other Beauties. Links up above. And thank you, Hansi, for filming.
Thank you.
So guys, here is this amazing plant here. Very wacky. As you can see, the cristata forms of these plants do grow very wavy and very brain-like. Almost nearly every type of cactus, if not all, as far as I know, can grow like this. And it is quite amazing how this forms. And it's not unusual sometimes after a few years for it to stay as a cristata form and then suddenly start to grow into its traditional form. As you can see, this has started to do it already. It's starting to grow into its more commonly seen Peniocereus serpentinus growth there. So this may shoot up and carry on growing as normal in the future. It already has the new shoots are normal there. Very unusual. It's these sort of mutations are quite wacky in nature. And what I've done is, I say, I've got the next size pot up here, and I make my own cactus and succulent plant soil. It's far cheaper, and I like to be in control of what goes into the soil. And I use a loam-based soil mixed with horticultural sharp sand and grit. And if you want to know how I make my own cactus and succulent plant soil, then links up above to a video on how to make cactus and succulent soil in 3 easy steps. Now, I'll vary the soil depending on what type of cactus I'm actually repotting, because obviously epiphytic cacti, there's a few other cacti might like slightly different soils, that like a more of a water retaining soil, some like a more acid soil. But in general, the soil mix I use in this video and in that video I recommend is for sort of an all-purpose general cactus and succulent soil. And there we go, I filled in the bottom of the pot there with a bit of soil there, and I'm potting up the next size up. Now, before you say to me, Lynn, why aren't you wearing gloves? Because as I mentioned in my How to Repot a Cactus video, obviously if you're repotting a spiny cactus, I personally find gloves a waste of time because the spines go straight through anyway. I prefer to use cardboard. So if this was a very spiny cactus, I'd probably wrap a bit of paper and card around my hands and do it that way. But in this case, it's actually very soft spines. They do tend to come off quite easily, but it's an easy one. I would prefer to use my hands. I've been growing cacti and succulents now for like over about 35 years since a child, and I'm sort of used to being, but pricked in every place imaginable. So when it comes to repotting, as I say, explain more in the How to Repot a Cactus video. You want to gently squeeze the pot here, and you want to make sure that you loosen up all that come out easy, or loosen up all the root ball. And then another good tip as well is that when you're repotting a cactus or any plant, as you know, is to check over the root system. Check there's no signs of mealybug. Root mealybug is a common one, or any hidden slugs or any other pests. And also if the root ball was completely matted, in other words, this was covered completely with roots. As you can see, there's roots there. If this was all covered, I would gently tease the roots out before putting it into the new pot. But there's loads, as you can see, it's nice and compact, but there's loads of soil around the roots. So the less I disturb the roots, especially at this time of year, because it's October now, and I wouldn't normally repot personally this late in the year, but it's still early fall, so autumn. So it's still okay because I'm going to be keeping this plant pretty much dry now until the following spring. And as I say, I'm overwintering this one in my house, not in the polytunnel, as it's one that prefers to be kept above 10, as all Peniocereus cacti do. So I'm not touching the roots in this case, gently placing it there like that, and that's perfect. And now what I'm going to be doing is just placing all the soil here around the pot. Now the soil I've already got this potted up in is the same. The grit is a larger size, but it's more or less the same soil mix that I had when I repotted it before. But if you've got a plant that's been potted up in a completely different type of soil mix, such as peat or any other soil, it may be best to gently loosen the roots as well, just to get the roots acclimatised to the new soil. But as I say, I don't need to do that in this case. And then I use this cute little spoon here that my wonderful niece Nicola gave me one year. I love little rainbow colours. But you can use anything just to gently push it down in there. So you make sure you're going all around the cactus. As I say, this isn't a how-to video, but I can't resist sharing a few tips when I'm doing this. And then tap the pot lightly as well, so the soil goes down, because if you just push it at the top, it may not go down all the way. And tapping it then, especially if this is dry, always repot a cactus in dry soil if you can, and not when the plant is wet, because if you're okay with epiphytic type of cacti, but with desert type of cacti, these type of cacti, this wouldn't be as strictly desert as some of the other ones. But if the soil is wet when you repot, both the actual soil the plant is already in and the new soil, it can be a little bit prone to rotting, so always do it when the plant is dry. And ideally spring and summer or early fall like now. I would never repot in the dead of winter unless it was sort of an emergency. Now, I know many growers do repot in winter and they just leave the plants dry until the following spring. They have no problem with that, so it's really whatever you want to do. And as I say, soil mix, everyone has their own preferences. I prefer to use more loam and horticultural sand and grit, but other growers are quite happy using peat and have great success with peat. It really depends on your growing conditions, and also as long as the soil is well draining. By well draining, I mean the soil dries out quickly in between waterings. And as I say, this time of year now, I've stopped watering all of the cacti and the majority of the succulents, except the winter growing ones, now in the polytunnel until next year. Hans is doing a great job there. It's wonderful to have my hands free, so he does a great job going down there. And that's it, gently potting it, so just tap like that. Now, what I like to do now, and I'm going to be going through all of my plants in the polytunnel, I'm going to be top dressing them all, because I think it finishes them off nice. I've been meaning to do this all summer and I haven't got round to it, so this will be a winter job for me. But as I've got this here, a bit of grit here, which I'm going to be putting on the top. Now this particular grit is actually, and don't laugh when I tell you guys, it's actually 100% molar clay cat litter. And this is a special type of cat litter that is safe to use as a grit alternative for plants, for cacti and succulents, and also as a top dressing alternative. It works in exactly the same way as grit, but it's paramount that you only use 100% non-clumping molar clay cat litter, and by this brand is one I use called Sunnycat, and I'll also link up a video to the brand I use because it seems to be quite popular here in the UK and Ireland, but I'm not sure if it's easily available in other places like the States. But it's 100% molar clay, so it's completely safe. No other type of cat litter would work as a grit or top dressing alternative because obviously it's clumping and it retains water. This doesn't, this dries out super fast, so it helps keep the neck of the cactus dry as well, as sometimes grit can retain a little bit wet. So there you go, just finishes it off nice. And I'm going to be keeping this plant now dry until the next, probably until middle of March. I'll only water cacti if they're desperately showing signs of shrivelling. But this is going to be overwintered in my office, in the windowsill. And I don't keep my office that warm, believe it or not, because I've got plants overwintered in there, but warm enough for me, so it should be okay. And there we go, all nicely potted up. And if you want to know a little bit more on how to grow cacti and succulents, please do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. Go have your mouse over the growing tips bar, growing tips section. There's a drop down bar with lots of different sections on how you can care for cacti and succulents. I'm going to be adding a lot more stuff on there over the winter, a lot more tips, so stay tuned for that, guys, and a lot more blogs. And thank you again, Hansi, for filming. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus power from across the Emerald Isle. And until the next video, bye.